For 30 years, there's been this amazing tool that lets artists and musicians build sound from scratch, and not with lines of code, but with visual blocks and connections. This is the story of PlugData and how one open idea grew into a global creative ecosystem.
So, let's kick things off with a question that gets right to the heart of what makes this software so different. Instead of typing out commands, what if you could just sketch out the logic of a sound? What if you could visually connect a sound source to a filter, then to an effect, literally drawing the path the audio takes? That's the core philosophy we're diving into.
And this is the tool that makes it all possible, PlugData, or just PD for short. Now, the official description is an open-source graphical programming environment, but honestly, the best way to think about it is like digital Legos for sound. Each block has a job. You snap them together with virtual wires, and you can build literally any audio tool you can dream up.
To really get why PlugData is still thriving after 3 whole decades, we've got to go back to the beginning, back to the principles it was built on.
Okay, so the story kicks off around 1995 with a guy named Miller Puckette at IRCAM, the famous French Music and Sound Research Institute. He created PlugData to be a free, open-source alternative to Max, which was a similar but commercial program. Now, in an era where creative software was expensive and all locked up, this was a revolutionary move. It was built to be accessible from day one. That led to the vanilla version, a stable, minimalist core that makes sure the projects you built in the early 2000s can still run today. And now, 30 years on, it's not just a tool, it's a worldwide community.
That core stability was absolutely crucial. But, the real story of PlugData is how its open philosophy allowed a community to build an entire universe around it.
Today, the ecosystem is kind of split into 2 main camps. On one hand, you have PED Vanilla. That's the pure original version maintained by Miller Puckette himself. It's all about rock-solid stability, which is why academics and audio purists love it. Then, on the other hand, you've got the modern distributions. These take that stable vanilla core and wrap it in new, user-friendly interfaces, making it way easier for people in different fields to just jump in and start creating.
And you can really see just how diverse this ecosystem is. For the purists, you've got pure vanilla, like we said. Then there's PlugData, which gives the interface a modern facelift, making it perfect for teachers and beginners. libPD lets developers bake the power of PlugData right into mobile apps, but the real game changer lately has been PlugData, which is aimed at a whole new audience, music producers.
And this is just a brilliant example of open innovation in action. See, PlugData solves a long-standing problem, getting PlugData to play nice with commercial music software. It wraps PD up into a standard VST or AU plugin, so now you can build a totally custom synth or effect inside PlugData and use it directly in your Ableton Live or Reaper project. This has kicked the door wide open for producers. This innovation isn't just about tools either. It's about knowledge. It used to be that you could only really learn PD in a university lab. Today, it's global and online. People like Alexandre Porres have become central figures, creating huge libraries like Else, with hundreds of pre-built tools and deep-dive YouTube tutorials that take you from zero to expert, all for free. That is shared innovation in action. So, with this expanding ecosystem, the applications for PlugData have just exploded, stretching all the way from the most experimental art performances to the very core of industrial products. Let's start on the avant-garde side of things. This quote from the artist Dan Wilcox, who performs as Robot Cowboy, just perfectly captures a certain artistic ethos. He creates performances with wearable computers, using PlugData as the brain. His philosophy isn't about cold robotic perfection, it's about creating a true human-machine hybrid where glitches and mistakes are part of the art.
And his work is just one example. Artists use PED for live coding, where music is generated algorithmically right in front of an audience. Others use it to turn pure math, like geometric shapes, into sound. And many create generative systems, like the famous Krell music from the movie Forbidden Planet, where the patch itself composes endlessly evolving music on its own.
But the same flexibility that attracts artists also makes PlugData a serious tool in the video game industry. A sound designer can visually prototype a complex interactive audio system, say an engine sound that changes based on speed and terrain. Then, using a tool called the Heavy Compiler, or HVCC, that visual patch gets converted into highly optimized C++ code. That code is then dropped directly into major game engines like Unity and Unreal.
And this idea of compiling PD for other platforms goes even further, all the way to hardware. With platforms like the Electrosmith Daisy, you can design a synthesizer or a guitar pedal in pure data on your computer and then flash that patch directly onto a microchip. You've just created a custom physical musical instrument, no advanced engineering degree required.
So, after all this time, in a world full of slick commercial software and monthly subscriptions, why is this quirky, open-source tool more relevant than ever?
30 years. I mean, that's an eternity in software development. An open-source audio tool from the mid-90s shouldn't just exist. Today, it should be thriving. And it is. The reason really comes down to 3 fundamental pillars.
It all boils down to these 3 key things. First, freedom. You're never limited by what a company thinks a musician needs. You can build anything. Second, portability. The patch you build on your laptop can run in a web browser, on a phone, or on that hardware chip we just saw. And finally, community. The knowledge isn't locked away, it's shared freely on forums, YouTube, and GitHub.
And it's not stopping there. Pure Data is absolutely embracing the future. Projects like Flucoma are bringing machine learning toolkits directly into PD. This allows artists to use AI to analyze and classify sounds in real time, creating instruments that can learn and respond to a performer's gestures.
Which leaves us with one last thought. As our creative tools become more and more dominated by black box AI models, what's the role for an environment like Pure Data? A tool that's completely open, transparent, and built on the idea of sharing. Maybe its greatest strength is that it doesn't just give you results, it teaches you how to think about sound.